Next speaker, please.
Yeah, Jim Stucker. I'm a taxpayer. Okay. I have a couple things to say. Why does Mr. Murphy trying to stop me not to talk like the other ones do? We don't. I don't. I know why. There's a lot of things going on around the city. Means Naillock Park should be fixed up again. Don't worry about Western Field Park. We should be Naillock Park. We should be get back in shape like it should be. You know, we got a new mayor. He should do something. That new mayor, Doherty should do something for the Naillock Park. We should get our animals back there. Brian Reed knows that. There's no reason why we can't get that park back in shape. Western Fields, we're not worried about that park. We're worried about Naillock Park. And why do everybody in Scranton got to pay taxes? Everybody in Scranton pay taxes. I'd like to know why, and I do. And up at Tripp Park, we have to pay taxes and they don't. It's not right. Is there a reason for that, Mr. Murphy?
Yeah, that's a state program.
Okay. We need some more up on Parrot Avenue. There's a big hole in the road. My buddy Pat told me about it. And I made a petition. You remember you were here when I got the petition wrote up for lights up there on Parrot, all the way down them houses. What happened? I never seen the lights up. I never seen them up. The ones up by the house, by the ball field got lights up, yes. We didn't get the lights by the ball, by the houses, like he was saying.
Mr. Stucker, just as a point of information for you, once we receive a complaint such as that, we send it down to our engineering department, and they look at it, and they make a determination based on their knowledge and expertise as to whether or not it's appropriate to put lights in that particular area or signage in a particular area. It's not a question of council making that determination. It's a qualified professional making the call.
And we got to stop. We need a light over there bad on Moosey Street. Real bad. Somebody's going to get killed. And I was here last Monday about it, and I know Jimmy he's seen about get a paper signed downstairs. I didn't hear anything about it yet.
What block is that, Mr. Stucker?
Right there by the Chinese food there on Moosey, by the gas station. We need a light there real bad. Somebody's going to get killed there yet. One of the kids or little kids running around back and forth that street. Little parents ain't with the kids.
We can have that look there.
The kids ain't out. The parents ain't watching the kids. We just had a fire down there. We had a fire down there like 2 weeks ago. A month ago. Well, actually a week. We had a fire down there. One of my buddies' houses caught on fire.
Thanks, Jim.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Stucker?
No, can you see about getting that them light holes fixed up on Parrot for us?
Yeah, we'll have somebody go over there and check out Parrot Avenue, make sure the
Means I don't live there.
one of the problems is right now.
I don't live over there, so it means there's a guy named Pat.
Well, one of the problems that we have in January is you can't really be patching holes during the winter.
Yeah.
And as soon as the weather breaks, the city's they'll be out trying to actually probably be a pothole hotline. Call up, let us know where the problems are. We'll forward them down to the DPW, and hopefully they'll do the best job they can.
Okay, right off of Kaiser Avenue, Pat's mother lives over there, and there's no lights where Gabe's diner used to be. All the way around the corner, there's no lights on that street at all on both sides.
There's a multi-million-dollar state project going on there right now. And I'm sure those lighting issues will be addressed as the project progresses. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
I'm Dave Tannehill, and haven't been here for 6 months. Had a problem with the house in Greenridge that I bought and tried to save and was taken down by the city. But my main complaint here is that I would like to talk to the law department. See, they're kind of busy right now, but we'll talk to them later. My point here is, the fact is, $21,000 lien. Now, any of you gentlemen sitting up there today probably all own homes or whatever. When you get something like this that is not even versed, not even brought in, not even, how would you say it without getting upset, not even told about. I tried to save this home in Greenridge, and all I did was get blown up for it. All right, my point is, I'd like to ask the law department a couple of questions.
That's not possible at this time. If you want to get legal counsel and you'd like to ask them questions and have them submit something to them, I'm sure they could develop some type of correspondence. But Gene Hickey is not legal counsel for everybody.
I had legal counsel, Greg O'Connell, and he did as much as he could for me, and he couldn't do any more.
Maybe we can refer it down to the new general counsel for the city. What is your question in particular?
Okay.
We'll help you out.
I don't believe why I should get letters like this by harassment, because really, the city hired NCC Credit, and they have a new owner now. And if they collected $6 million of money that couldn't be collected, then really, why do we have tax collectors?
Weren't you given a hearing on this issue with our former director, Mary Alice Burke? Wasn't she involved with your particular situation, and you were given a hearing, and there was a problem as to whether you showed up? Or could you clarify that for me?
Yes. We had a hearing with Mary Alice Burke over a year ago, and at that particular time, they made a statement and a decision while I was out of the room. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, from what I understand, and I discussed this with Mary Alice Burke on several different occasions, you were invited to a hearing, you left the hearing, and got lost for a while and came back after their determination had already been made.
She was the one that asked for a break. When I came back from the break, they said the decision is made that they're going to take down your house after I made the improvements on it.
Mr. Tannehill, I don't want to argue with you about your own individual circumstance here, but if you do have a question you'd like us to refer to the law department, just state what your question is, and we'd be happy to forward it down to them.
Oh,
provide
very simple.
And we'll CC you on the...
Very simple.
Okay.
NCC is hired by the city council approved it.
That's correct.
Now, if they collected $6 million, that means that NCC collected $1 million. Obviously.
Roughly.
Pardon?
Roughly. If you're using rough figures, then that's acceptable, yeah.
Where I'm at is, this lien has burdened my daughter Colleen. Oh, all right, she left the room. This particular lien has burdened me because it ruined my credit after a hard-working man of 40 years and all the other things that go with it. I don't have to get into a thing about my reputation. Now, if you're going to blow me off, like, I feel that you're not giving me a fair chance.
Well, I think at the hearing you were given a fair chance and you didn't represent yourself, and a determination was made, not based on what I feel was the right thing to do, but based on what the people at the hearing in the arbitrator thought was the right thing to do.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
But I don't want to debate the issue with you. I know you have a problem.
We're not debating the issue. I'm telling you why I disagree.
But what is your question that you'd like me to refer to the law department so I could help you
I
as best I
deferred to
can?
the law department simply because I wanted to ask them exactly what is the $6 million? What percentage did NCC get?
Okay, we could provide that. We could provide that for you.
If they're going to charge me or try to charge me $21,000, and they've already put a credit lien against me, then if I'm going to stay in the city of Scranton, really, why should I pay any other taxes, and why should anybody else that has a lien with NCC?
You have 1 minute left, sir.
Could you make sure that you leave your address? You don't have to say it over the microphone, but leave your address with Ms. Kitlis, and we'll provide the response from our law department as to your question.
I'd like to refer to one thing. My file has been in the law department for a year and a half, and it has never been reviewed. Now, I don't take these things, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
I don't take these
please try to
things
contain
lightly.
yourself.
I don't take these things lightly when they come into my family. This prevented me from doing something for my daughter. Now, all you men must have children, or you must have family, or you wouldn't be sitting up there. You wouldn't have been elected.
Your time is up, sir.
I'm sympathetic to your situation, but on the same token, the city incurred an expense to raise your home. And a hearing was given, and the legal course of action was taken. And although I'm sympathetic to the lien that's against your house and the financial hardship it's caused you, there's really nothing I can do to help you out.
No, wait, you got it backwards. I never lived in the house. I took the house after the city had it for 6 years. And I bought it, and I fixed it up. And after I fixed it up, the city tore it down. Now,
Well, thank you for your comments, and we will provide that answer for
am
you.
I dismissed?
I believe so.
Well, that's too bad.
Next speaker, please.
Raymond Lyman, citizen.
What is your name, sir?
Raymond Lyman, citizen.
Okay.
I have a problem in Pine Brook. I have a sewer drainage ditch that's cracked by the sewer line. It's cracked like this by the manhole, and I'm afraid that little children will fall through it.
Where is that, Raymond?
The 300 block of Phelps Street on Lord's Court.
300 block of Phelps on North Court?
Yeah, you know where Capels Avenue is,
Yes.
and you know where Wyoming Avenue is, where the old waffle shop diner is.
Yes.
You go down that way, and Lord's Court is here, and the drainage is here, and it's cracked in half like this, and I'm afraid the little kids.
Okay.
I told Jimmy Connors, I told Rocky, what's his name?
Well,
Countless
that really
times.
doesn't matter at this point. But we want to try
I
to
told
help you out.
Doherty today. He was at the association meeting today up at John Adams, and he told me to come down here to tell you. And he
Okay.
said that you will do something about it.
Yeah. Mr. Wintermail, please forward
And
Ray's comments down
yeah,
to
I got a question to ask
the
you.
city engineer. Okay, one moment, please.
Okay.
I don't want to lose my train of thought.
Okay.
If you could send his comments down to our city engineer and have him review the situation and at least put an emphasis on that letter that we put up some type of safety precaution around that area to make sure that no one is injured. Continue, please.
Yeah, and I have a question to ask you. I was thinking a way you guys can make money for the city. Here's an idea for you guys to make money. You know that conference center and hotel you're building? Why don't you put a little casino in there?
The state has to pass laws pertaining to gambling.
Well, I mean,
city.
you could put slot machines in there. That's legal in the state of Pennsylvania.
No, it's not.
Or bingo. Bingo is loud.
Okay.
If you ever see on the reservations, they make a lot of money on bingo. I seen it. I went to bingo. I went in Connecticut, and I seen those big bingo places. They make lots of money, and you guys can make a lot of money off that.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your
And then,
input.
you know what? There's another question. You know the hospitals? You can make a lot of money off, I should say, you can make a lot of money off that if you put parking meters all over around the hospitals and charge them. And that's the end of them taking free spaces for the people who live there. Because I see people who can't get there. Because I have an aunt who lives up there, and she got to park some like 6 or 8 blocks away. And she's about 70-some years old. You know what I mean, Chris? 70-some years old. And she have to walk about 6 or 7 blocks to walk to her house. And I think that would be a better idea. Especially around the Mercy, the CMC, and that'd be the end of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
City Council, Article 5, if you would be so kind to look that up. Any person or persons who wishes to address council may do so in the period set aside for citizens' participations. Any person addressing City Council shall be limited to 5 minutes of comments unless extended by the council president. Doesn't say that we have to address our questions directly to you. As you stated a couple weeks ago, I asked a lot of questions here, and you didn't give me the right answers. And I don't like to sit down. I happen to be a professional. Okay, and when I ask a question, I like an answer. I don't want to wait 2 weeks to try and get it. As you stated, people in the majority elected you people to council. And we applaud those people for electing you. In the same token, you became servants of the people. And in doing so, you're here to answer the questions of the people. People come here every night, or every Monday night, which incidentally, in your stated meetings on the rules of council, says stated meetings of council shall be held on Monday of each week at 7 o'clock. You canceled one a couple weeks ago for a holiday. There's nothing in here that says the holiday. You elected to do that. We need to move Scranton forward. Well, you may think it's a professional way not to answer questions or answer at your discretion emotions and not allow anyone to respond until 2 weeks later. I don't like living in the past. I like to move forward. When I ask you a question, I like an answer at the 5 minutes I'm allowed to do so. I think everybody's entitled to that. If you can't answer the question, then allow the appropriate councilman that's sitting here to do that. I ask questions about finance. I ask questions about who's in charge, watchdog of the city. In your rules of council, and you should familiarize yourself with them, it will tell you what each department is. I asked on finance. And rules relating to that, all subjects relating to revenue for the support of the city government, relating to claims against the city, relating to taxation, the city treasurer's accounts, the exonerations to finance and budgetary transfers shall be referred to Committee on Finance. That means we should have answers. When I asked you about cell phones, I didn't get an answer on it. I'd like to know why you're entitled to a cell phone. The taxpayer is exempt. Could I have that answer?
I believe I entertained that question 2 weeks ago, and I'm not going to do so again at this time.
You didn't answer my question, Mr. Murphy. You said it was a good deal. I want to know why you're entitled to a cell phone. None of the other councilmen are.
I believe you just didn't like the response that I had.
It wasn't the response I asked for, Mr. Murphy. It was a response you gave in your...
Mr. Ballas,
Mr. Murphy, don't slam your hammer
Mr.
tonight.
Ballas, you're out of order.
No,
And
Mr.
the
Mr.
worst
Murphy,
thing-
I didn't come here
Mr.
to be
Ballas,
argumentative.
Mr. Ballas, you're out of order.
Mr. Murphy...
Let me speak.
then-
When you ask me a question, and I'm not going to argue with you,
No,
because
Mr. Murphy, I'm
we're
not
not,
here
we're
to
not going to
argue.
behave that way.
Then
And I don't
please-
want to have to ask you to step down.
Mr.
You're out
Murphy,
of
that's your
order.
choice
If I
if you
have to
so to
ask
do
you
so.
to be quiet again,
Mr. Murphy, don't
speaking.
sit there tonight and
Mr.
tell me to
Ballas,
be
you're out of
quiet.
order. Please step down.
No, I'm not, Mr. Murphy. I want an answer to my
Officer,
question. And if
you
you
can
want to
remove
remove
Mr.
us here
Ballas,
and you think
please.
you're going to sit at this council...
Thank you very
and
much.
Dictate, no, don't thank me. If you're going to dictate the people here every day, I'll be with you in a second. Mr. Murphy, this question is
Officer,
not answered.
Please remove Mr. Ballas
There'll be
from the
other
podium.
answers, Mr. Murphy. And remember, I'll be with you in a second. If
You're
you
not
wanna
being
arrest me, go
acknowledged
ahead,
right
Mr.
now by
Murphy.
this
The
council.
problem is you haven't answered the
Does not
question.
acknowledge you, Mr. Ballas, at this time. Officer, remove him immediately.
Mr. Murphy, you have to earn it, and you better earn that question.
Thank you very much, officer.
No, thank you, Mr. Murphy, and I'll be back, and I'll expect my answers.
Next speaker, please. From the meeting.
Excuse me? Where's this
Oh, you're removed from this meeting. Please have him removed, sir.
Excuse me, under the rules of council, Mr. Murphy, is that your answer?
Next speaker, please.
Hold on one second.
No, okay.
Officer.
Raymond Lyman.
Thank you. What's your last name, Raymond?
Raymond Lyman. I want to talk about what happened last week. and how I didn't like the way the council did to Bob Bolus. I thought it was atrocious. I mean, you had students from the high school and you had students from the college, and I thought that was disgusting. Show students like that, politicians, do stuff like that in front of, to do stuff like that, made me sick. I mean, you were supposed to be respected in office by elected officials, by the people, for the people, not to think that you're dictators. I mean, 60 years ago, we got rid of Hitler. But yet, you think that you could boss a man like Bob Bolus because he asked you a question. I mean, he asked you a question, you should have answered that question. Not sit there and be quiet. I mean, I'm not insulting you, Chris. You know what I mean? I'm just giving my opinion. I mean, we elected you. I mean, you're not a king. And you got to remember that. Because the election is coming up, and we could vote you out. And I also got a problem in Pine Brook. We got a light that's by Philbin's Garage on New Street and Lord's Court. You know one of those main lights?
Okay, yes.
It's burned out.
Okay.
I was just told about that.
We'll make sure we get a note out to Peter.
I just found out about that today. But I still think that was rotten because a lot of those students and friends of mine who go to the university said that was rotten. And I thought that wasn't right. I mean, you're politicians and you shouldn't do stuff like that. Because, you know, you look at a politician, you look at great men like Kennedy. And people like Kennedy would never do something like that. Insult someone like that. You're supposed to respect a person and you're supposed to honor a person. That's what I was taught. And I was taught with the Bible. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, girls and boys, and viewers. There's several things I would like to bring up. My name is Tim Redfield. I live at 1640 North Main Avenue in North Scranton by the high school that was taken over by Goodwill. There's nothing been done with that building since Goodwill took it over within the last several months. I've lived in Scranton for over 6 years. I've taken 2 years up in Clark Summit. Can we try and get this project forward, as you gentlemen and ladies put it, to some stand to keep stopping going? And number two, the expressway up from Scranton going up towards the 81 on the old exit 57 is a total garbage disaster. Do you have personnel that can come around and pick up the trash up that strip, please?
Tim, I believe that's the state that handles that stretch of road, but we can get a letter out to probably Chuck Matei with the state, or we can get in touch with the local district manager. We'll do that for you.
Okay, thank you. And when will Main Avenue, I don't know if that's the city road, 1600 block Main Avenue getting repaved, and also the crossings, the white lines that get marked crossings, where the high school used to be, because there is a bus stop on both sides of the street, and people do not stop at the corner either. And last but not least, at Mulberry Street and Wyoming Avenue is a bus stop that's under Colt Buses in Scranton, PA, down by the high school. It says Colt Buses. Right before the bus stop, there is a meter for some reason. I have to go up to CMC Hospital every day on my lunch hour to visit a relative and a very good friend as well. I have 2 people up there. I cannot get up to the bus stop because there's 2 rows of cars facing the bus stop going towards Wyoming Avenue, from Linden Street. And this happened to be at before school is dismissed. Doesn't Scranton school buses come up to their school and pick up these kids? Or do we have or is there going to be a problem? Excuse me. Is there going to be a problem with the buses going up there trying to get over? Because I get in the middle of the street with a bunch of the passengers of the Colt buses that we are good supporters with. To get on the bus to get in the middle of the street to go either Highworks or going up to other locations, please. I mean, it's very dangerous. I mean, if it says Colt bus stop, there should not be a meter there on two side meters. If you're gonna have 1 meter, fine, just have the one before the Colt bus stop, not the one, and then you got the other double niche one. It is dangerous if you look at it, because you got senior citizens going up towards, which is a Petersburg bus that goes up to CMC. You got Chestnut, Ash, and Jessup. It's going to be dangerous, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt, especially if you got kids that are trying to get off the bus or getting on the bus, which at 2:30 or 2:15, it can be wild. Because I heard we also did an excellent job this year on the parade. I thought that must have did some business in Scranton as well. The other thing, last but not least, I would like to have answers for these also, and I know I got about 45 seconds, sir, is having S&S Amusements Carnival come up here and do a fundraising for the city of Scranton, because I know you're in a predicament with money and financial wise. And after dismissal here, I can give the young lady the phone number for S&S Amusements, because they can use that up at the Greenridge Plaza, which is not used much. And Mr. Swicker, the owner, could have all of his rides there.
You have 1 minute left, sir.
All right, I was close. I was close, but that's what I was trying to point out. You could pull in so much money with S&S Amusements with this fundraiser, sir. And I'm sorry about that, Mr. over in the corner. And is there anything else? That's the only ones I have to bring up. But I would like to see the cars out of that zone area where it says Colt buses and just have 1 meter and not 2.
What block is that, Tim?
It's right where Bishop Hoanna is.
Bishop
up
Hannon?
on Mulberry, over by the convenience store, sir.
Okay. Maybe we could get a letter out to Colts and see if they could address that, look into it for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great night.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
Please state your name for the record.
Raymond Lyman. And I'm here to talk about the history of Scranton. And did you know that Scranton was originally called Razorville and Slocum's Hollow? And it's 162 years old this year. And I was thinking that we should have like a party for the city. You remember last week, Kevin, you told me to tell you guys about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea. I had realized that Scranton was once known as Slocum Hollow.
Yeah, but I also discovered here in the book, there's like Deep Hollow in 1788 by Philip Abbott, Unionville in 1794 by the Slocums, and Slocum Hollow in 1816 was honored by the Slocums. And then it was the Iron Works was honored by the iron furnaces of 1840s. Then Harrisonville was named after 1841 by William Harrison, who was the president, who was a candidate who later became president. And in 1850, it was named Scranton, and in 1851, it was then named Scranton. And then it was incorporated in 1866. But it was founded in 1840. And I was thinking that you should have some kind of party for it, you know what I mean? Like you and the mayor, and like some kind of have like a little parade or something, like you have for St. Patrick's Day, and you have for the Easter parade, like for the Christmas parade. You should have something for Scranton.
We'll have to direct that down to the mayor.
I appreciate
your research.
This is history. I mean, Wilkes-Barre, I heard that they're having a party. Because I saw it on 44.
I think what might be a good idea, every year we have the music festival at Naog, and it's been ongoing now for the past decade at least.
Oh, yeah, but
And-
the music fair. But
I think we should celebrate
that's
this as well.
nothing compared to, like, teaching these kids what history is.
No, to possibly incorporate your ideas
Yeah,
into
like
that.
having a
would be a good
party. You know,
idea.
like you remember when Jimmy Connors had that week with the bands and they had the rides?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. That's what I was referring to
Yeah.
at Naog.
Yeah. Because they sit in here, Naog, originally Naog was called the Sternberg Line. They had like Gettysburg was named from John Getty who bought the land. I mean, some of this stuff, you know, we don't know. Like, no one knew about this because it's all long forgotten. Capellas Avenue was named after an Indian chief. Did you know that?
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, Capellas Avenue was named after a Capucin Indian chief.
Ray,
Here.
if
I
I
mean,
can,
that's something
Absolutely.
interesting.
Ray, it may be possible that Channel 61 would have an interest in putting on some kind of history
that would be
program.
something great for American. I mean, we studied American history. I mean, I was looking at. They wouldn't let me take the reference books out,
Oh,
but I got like this one. But I was reading some of the interesting historical,
I think it's nice that you took the time out to research the history of our
especially
city.
the history of this city. I mean, you know, like they sit here. I just want to tell you. I just want to say just one more thing here. Wait a minute. I just want to say, in 1840, there were only 500 houses when this city was founded. 500 houses. In 1866, when this city was incorporated, 30,000 houses were built. In 1910, 130,000 houses were here. That's a lot of people that lived here.
It certainly is.
I mean, that is history.
You have 1 minute left, sir.
I mean, that is a lot. You know what I mean? And I was thinking we might.
Excuse me, sir.
I think he's got to go, Kevin. I think he's...
Pardon me, Ray. You still have your time. Don't worry about that outburst. If there's another outburst like that, sir, you'll have to be asked to be removed.
You know,
Please continue.
I was thinking, you know, we get like a plaque, you know, a plaque with the original names of Razorville and Slocum's Hollow, and put it at Naog and remember it. The names of the people who founded it.
Yeah, that's something that they may even be interested in with,
Yeah, like
with the
mayor,
museum.
you guys, and dedicated it. I
Yeah.
like to be there to do it. To be there with you guys to dedicate it. I like to see that.
Thank
I
you,
like
Ray.
to be there and see that because that's our history. That's our heritage. I mean, that's part of our life. I mean, think about it. I mean, we won't be here when the 200th birthday will come.
Your time is up, Mr. Lemon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you.
Could you state your name, please?
Jim Stucker.
Thank you.
It's the first time I've been here. And we still haven't, we want to know, can you is there a way to get a light on that Moosey Street over there, Mr. Murphy? We still need a light there by that Chinese place.
I don't recall that light on New Street. We sent correspondence out
Yeah, Moosey Street.
to PPNL.
Moosey Street, yeah, Moosey.
Excuse, pardon me a second, Jim. I want to ask Mr. Wintermantle if we,
All right,
Music Street.
yeah. Yeah. By the Chinese food there.
I'm
The Chinese.
not
food-
familiar.
The Chinese food, where the Chinese is at.
I know where Music Street
There's some
is.
correspondence.
There's correspondence on that.
There's something
I just looked at it.
ongoing.
Jim, that, right.
Yes.
On PennDOT.
Mr. Parker, our DPW director, is going to contact PennDOT, and we'll get his response back to you as soon as we get it.
Okay, I heard about Naylor Park.
Yeah.
Thought they want some help up there, clean up. I'd like to go up this year. I volunteered last year and never got no answer.
Oh, that's the, Pride, Scranton's Pride. Pride, is it called?
You know, means they want somebody to go up and clean up.
There's probably a weekend coming up in the future, Jim, where you just go right up there and chip in and help out.
You could stop at the
Sure what
council.
the date is.
You could stop at the council office during the day and our staff will give you the phone number for Scranton Pride, or even we'll contact them for you to find out where you go and when you go to volunteer for that.
On Parrot Avenue now, they're having parties up there again, Murphy. They're having parties up there on Parrot Avenue. They're having parties up there again. Up on Parrot Avenue, they're having parties in a ball field, beer parties.
Over Sloan Field?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're having parties up there again.
We'll let the police chief know that, we'll make them aware of it, and they could patrol that area a little more heavily.
See me think what else. My landlord, Joe Monday.
Please don't mention.
No, he means, he likes the hedges I put in front of my house on Moosey Street. I put all the hedges in front of my house.
Thank you.
It means he went down, you've probably seen him there. Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Raymond Lyman. You know, I was hearing about you talk about the recycling. Did you know there's a place called Mirtec? It's a place in California that deals with recyclables. They could give you grants, and they could give you, they could give you the stuff what you need. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know which one of you are in charge of the recycling. Which councilman is in charge of that?
I have the Public Works Committee.
Oh, you in charge?
But I'm not sure if the Don Davis down at Department of Public Works may be aware of the company you're talking about.
This company, because they dealt with Wilkes-Barre, because a friend of mine, he works for the DPW in Wilkes-Barre, and they got $25,000 from that.
What was the name of that firm?
Midtech. It's from California, Sacramento. Midtech.
I'll find out if Don Davis.
I don't know what their website address, but they're once you could deal with them, you could get the only thing you have to do is you advertise. You had to have their advertisement on their they'll give you their like the containers with their name on it, but that don't matter.
Well,
you know that? They'll cover the whole city.
Yeah, we'll look into that, Ray.
I mean, that would be good. And Brian, I was wondering, what about those beat cops, the bicycle patrol? When are they going to come back? The new ones?
Well, we stated a few weeks ago that we have, I believe, 5 officers that are still in training in school. We're waiting for them to complete their classes. We were being told by the chief that we should be able to see those police officers on the street probably within 3 weeks. And then, of course, it'll be up to the administration as to where they want to assign those officers.
Because Uncle Earl wanted to know.
But they have to complete their classwork first, and then they'll get assigned.
Yeah, because, he wants one down in Pine Brook.
Right.
What?
Okay.
During motions tonight, I was going to ask for an update from the police chief on the status of the bike patrols.
Yeah.
So if we can, Jim, could you please send a letter down to Chief Elliott, asking what the status of the bike patrols
Yes, I'll take it.
is, and find out when the training will be over, and when the citizens could expect to see them back on the streets. There's a lot of money invested in bicycles from different neighborhood associations.
You still get the bikes,
civic
don't you?
organizations.
You still get the bikes, don't you?
Yeah, we're going to check on that.
Got the bikes for the last bike patrol, don't you?
Yeah, the bikes stay.
But the bikes were purchased, most of the bikes were
And you're going to get newer ones. You're going to get more of them, ain't you? More bikes?
from neighborhood groups.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta realize the bike is only $1,200, but the person who rides it is $32,000.
Yeah, I mean, but
So you gotta realize and put that in perspective.
yeah, but I mean, you still got the bikes from the last ones.
Yeah, they stay.
Yeah.
Provided that we have an officer that can ride the bike.
I mean, but they're
and
locked
is
up
assigned to
somewhere. They're
bicycle.
locked up somewhere and safe.
Well, I think what the president asked for is where we're headed. We need to get some
I mean, at
affirmative
least check
answers.
to see if they're not stolen. You know what I mean?
No, we know where the bikes are.
You know what I mean, Brian?
We'll give you an update on
We
that.
went through that with motorcycles.
Because don't let it kid you, Brian. Brian, don't let it kid you. Because I watched an episode on Cops in California. They broke into the police thing, and the crooks went in there and stole the police bikes.
You have 1 minute left, Ray.
They took the bikes right out, and the cops were right there to grab them. It was so funny. And I was wondering about that manhole. Are they gonna do anything about that? They were out there 2 weeks ago to look at it, but they didn't come back to fix it yet. That sewer drain?
Mr. Wintermantle, you had that correspondence sent where? To DPW or the Scranton Sewer Authority?
It was sent to DPW.
Okay, we'll
And
need
they
to
were
get.
CC'd. I believe the
hole
sewer
is
authority was
this big
CC'd.
now. I cleaned it out so the water could go in. So when we had that heavy rain, because we had a lot of the leaves and it blocked it up, and I busted it through so the water could go down. Because that's like the only drain we have there. And if we don't clean it out, it'll flood the whole area. You know what I mean, Brian? But what scares me is that a little kid could slide through there.
Why don't we have Mr. Wintermantle follow up on that first thing in the morning?
And that's like that's all that I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Good evening, gentlemen. As a student, I'd just like to say,
Pardon me for a moment. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Daniel Mitsakos.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say, as a student, I'd like to thank council for providing Scranton Channel 61. I don't live in the city, but as a student, I am able to see the government in action on television, and hopefully seeing this will get other students involved in their local governments and maybe want to stay in the city after they graduate from their respective high schools. I'd just like to say that in Moscow, we have a strong, devoted following to council. People watch it weekly and are involved with matters, even though they live outside the city of Scranton. These students, these juniors and seniors at North Pocono High School, will probably eventually have jobs in the city, possibly live in the city. They've expressed interest in staying in the city, and everyone talks about leaving. People are going to stay as long as we have a strong, solid democracy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Went this far. You know, try to get in touch with the mayor is like trying to get a hold of the Pope. Dealing with his administration, the way that I have been treated by your department heads, your employees in the departments in the city of Scranton is unbearable. I wouldn't even treat my mother the way that I've been treated. Leave messages for Elisa Moran, the Director of Human Resources. No one wants to return your phone calls. What more do I have to do? All I want is my car to be repaired. It's the fault of the city. The city is responsible. The city needs to do something. Do I need to contact an attorney and sue the city? Because that's what it is turning out to be. Nobody wants to return my phone calls. Nobody wants to take care of the matter. Everybody wants to push the buck to somebody else. I can't get in touch with Mayor Doherty. I can't get in touch with any of you members of City Council.
Have you called City Council?
Yes, I have.
I never got it.
I didn't.
This is the first.
Did you receive a copy of the letter that I sent?
And sir,
5
with all-
minutes before the meeting. I did receive your letter. Only a few minutes before this meeting, I received your
How
letter.
convenient.
But
April 1st, it's stamped in, sir. It just got here today.
I mailed it the 27th of March, sir.
Okay, well,
No.
the mayor closed
holiday.
City Hall on Friday, so
How convenient.
just got it.
We just got it today.
At
Let's be happy.
5:30 today.
Well, can you tell me what is going to be done?
You have 1 minute left, sir.
Mr. DeBilio asked me he'd like to respond to that. Would you like to respond now, Mr. DeBilio?
Jeff, if I can, this is the first I've been made aware of the situation also. I have some experience in insurance claims, and if you'd like to, after the meeting, if you can stick around, we can talk and get some more details on what exactly happened. And do you have much damage on your vehicle?
It's $540 some odd dollars. Now, I was informed, supposedly, I'm getting umpteenth million different responses. I've been told, according to the police report, Specialty National is your insurance company. When I contact them, no, we have no such client, the city of Scranton. When someone makes a promise to me or tells me that they're going to do something, I hold them to that. Rosalind told me on Friday, March 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that she was personally going to fax this information to the insurance company.
Jeff, if you can't stick around, leave your phone number and I'll give you a call and I'll try to help you through it.
Mr. DeBillio?
Yes.
If I can, I did get a chance while a gentleman was speaking to read his letter that did come into council today. It appears that you've already submitted that claim to Kemper Insurance Company. You spoke with the Stephanie?
Yes, and she informed me that it is handled in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania office.
Right, and that is our insurance carrier for the city for a vehicle liability. So I think that the claim is already in process. Maybe the best thing to do is for council to follow up with Kemper to find out what's going on with the claim at this time. And we can do that in the morning.
Do that for you, Jeff.
Sure.
Excuse me, sir?
We'd be more than happy to do that for you, to follow up with you. Obviously, Mr. DeBillio, I don't know if he has your phone number to contact you. Oh, I see it right
Is
here.
it on here, Jeff?
I see it on here.
I believe it is.
But
Yes.
he would like to discuss it with you after tonight's meeting. It should take a few minutes. If you have the time, if not, he'll give you a phone call. We'll help you out on it.
Get back to you by tomorrow, Jeff.
Hi, thank you.
It's Jim Stucker. I live on Moosey Street. I want to know what's the problem with that light now we getting. I want to know what's the holdup.
What light are you referring to, Mr.
Means I
Stuck?
was here last month about the light on Moosey Street by the Chinese place. I want to know what's the problem, why we're not getting it.
We have to wait for the Bureau of Engineering to go out, check it out. If there's PP&L is involved, we have to get a response back from them.
Traffic light that may have been referred up to PennDOT.
Is that what it was? The traffic light?
Traffic.
Oh, okay.
It's the intersection of Prospect and Music Street, which is a state highway.
That's up at PennDOT, Jim, and that's going to take a little bit longer than normal.
Okay,
That light, actually, to be honest with you, that light could take years to be installed.
okay.
I mean, that's truthful. First of all, there's a major expense to put the kind of light that you're talking about at that intersection, and it's in the six-figure range. So, although you see a need, and we're not going to question that there isn't a need, but we have to be told by people that actually are the engineers that it's warranted. But in all reality, Jim, you're not going to see that light tomorrow, next week, next month. Those kind of projects take many months, if not years.
Good. I'm glad you, Mary Ann and all you got together about me working at Naylor Park.
Working at Naog Park,
Yeah, volunteering.
that's an employment concern that would have to be.
I think it's the NAOG cleanup he's referring to.
Are you talking about the cleanup, or are you talking about a job?
I'm cleaning up.
Oh, the cleanup.
Yeah,
And
raking,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
raking and stuff.
Do we have a date on that?
In May.
It's in May, but I'm not sure. I wasn't sure.
May 4th?
Pardon me, Marion? The cleanup at Naog Park will be May 4th through the 11th for Mr. Stuckert and anyone else that's out there to wish to participate in the cleanup of Naog Park.
Okay, let me think. Mr. Reed, what can you do? Maybe you can help me. I went to how you call it? Magistrate office, Gallagher. I went to him, right? I asked him, can you do something about dogs jumping around all night upstairs over me? I wonder, can you see about it for me?
Dogs?
Yeah, 11, 12 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, they jump around. The girl won't quiet the dogs down at all.
The only thing I could tell you to pick up the phone and call the Scranton Police Department
They
and
won't come. Police
file a
say-
complaint.
I do call, and they give me a citation.
Have you contacted your landlord?
I told my landlord about it. And the police said, oh, they're going to give me citations. They're going to give me citation for my TV being loud. Their dog jumping around all night. 11, 12 o'clock at night, they're complaining about my TV being loud. They called up the cops on Sunday. Joe doesn't want the cops over there, he said, my landlord. There's a reason. They told me not to call the cops, right? Joe told me not to call the cops. The rest of the magistrate told me not to call the cops. What can I do? I'm not going to move. I got a nice place. I don't want to move out of a place over a bunch of 3, 4 dogs, 11, 12 o'clock at night, jumping around. And I have a bad heart. And I can't have his adorations day and night. Can you get a hold of Dog Man about it for me, Mr. Reed?
The dog man? I don't think we can do much if the dogs are inside an apartment. I think that's more, that's an ownership problem, and that comes down to your landlord. I mean, if they're running around on the street or they were running,
yeah,
that's a whole another issue.
You have 1 minute
I
left.
think you should have a candid discussion with your landlord.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Reed.
I live at 1640 North Main Avenue in the city of North Scranton, Pennsylvania. I wanted to find out what the answer was on the cleanup up on the state road going from Mary Street, the expressway, which used to be the expressway, which is now under McDade Expressway now. If they were going to do anything about that. I saw some people doing some work. I thought that was a blessing on our part to make our town look beautiful once again. The other part is we are getting some things done. I see there's like a little ring where the roller ring's going around with the roller skates and stuff in some areas. That's another blessing. Praise the Lord. We are being blessed thanks to the Lord and his children. So give it time. The Lord will provide. And I would like an answer on that one thing which I asked for, please.
Tim, I wanted to ask you about that Mary Street. You said between Mary Street and the expressway.
If you come up the expressway, sir, going up towards 81, I brought this up 3 weeks from last week, to be precise.
If you could just help refresh my memory. If we're going
If you're
north.
coming up the expressway from Scranton, and you're coming up the expressway on the expressway going up towards 81, then you got the merge to Clark Summit, which...
oh, okay. But that's not Mary Street. Mary Street is...
well, that's another issue right there, but...
oh, I thought it was tied into the same issue.
This is going to be 2 different issues, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
No, this is the one from the expressway straight up to 81, but Mary Street in the other part of Scranton is another issue, sir.
Oh, okay.
It's starting to look slack, a lot out of tack.
Okay.
And don't ask me why they're letting it go from uphill down.
Yeah.
I don't know, sir.
Okay. The state PennDOT workers pick up the garbage along the expressway in that particular area we were referring to.
They did that once, sir. And if I recall, as an old Boy Scout, a scout is supposed to be helpful at all times. Then why aren't these scouts out doing their deed as a scoutmaster and an other scout for over 30 years? Yes. I've had the honor.
Good job.
Yeah, I went through Cub Scouts right up to past first class, and I was just about made my eagle, except for I missed on one palm merit page, but I tried. That's what counts. But that's what they're here for. The scout does say in the scout law, a scout is supposed to be helpful at all times. We got scout troops in our district.
Yeah, that's a dangerous area, and it's as far as we could do a little public service here as well. As far as
the older scouts can do it for as they're going for the eagle palms.
But it's a safety concern that I had, Tim. There's so many PennDOT workers that are cleaning up, picking garbage along the highways, and are working in construction areas that are killed every year. It's a dangerous job. I don't believe it's a job for Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, but it's something that we will refer to PennDOT in that particular area. I live in that particular area. I didn't realize there was a problem. I could check it out myself, and if
Well,
it
I
warrants
take the
it,
bus every
I'd
day
pass it
from
along.
our Coles Finest Bus Company in out of North South Road in Scranton, and the people down there have been treated me very well.
Great.
Most of the drivers, some you still get their problems, but
You'll have that.
amen to that too. What was the situation? God bless you, ma'am. What was the situation on the buses that were on that 2 double meter I spoke to over 3 weeks from today? If you remember precise on that one, in front of the Bishop Hennon High School on Mulberry Street. God bless you. On Mulberry Street off of Wyoming Avenue.
You have 1 minute left, Mr. Redfield.
Why, thank you,
Tim.
kind sir.
No, Tim, I don't know what you're referring to on that bus.
There was a Colt bus stop there right in front of the school on Mulberry Street and Wyoming Avenue.
Okay.
Then you had the 2 meters. All right, you got the 2 meters here, and then you have the Colt bus stop right in front of, right behind, right.
Where they have the new shelter.
It's no, that this is a bus stop with the Highlands bus, and some of the other buses stop there to pick up the passengers. How much time, sir?
It's about 15 seconds.
That's what I'm asking. Is if I can get an answer on that, that'd be great. Then I'll leave
Okay.
our friend alone.
Tim, in reference to some of your questions, I had difficulty hearing you. If you have
Sorry.
time to stick around, and I'll try to listen a little more attentively. I was trying to pay attention to you, but I couldn't quite hear you on
I'm
some of
sorry,
those
sir.
issues. So if you could hang around for a couple of minutes, I'll discuss them with you.
Sure. Is that okay, sir, down there?
That's
yeah.
fine. He's the boss.
No, I didn't mean that. I mean time-wise.
It's okay.
Your time is up.
Thanks, Tim.
We have an open sewer that goes across our backyard. Because of this sewer, our basement has rats the size of cats. I did call George Parker. He sent down a gentleman by the name of Michael. His last name, Mucciano or something.
Luciani.
There you go. Okay. He did measure. He did said this was a problem. The rats were the reason because of this creek, and that he would try to put it past, okay, the city engineer. He said it's definitely, this sewer is through our yard. If it gets clogged, the poor lady who lived in the house next door, lived there for 52 years, is knee deep in water. The creek is also higher than our home, so when it rains like it did this afternoon, we have a built-in pool along with the rats in our basement. I called the animal control. They said they couldn't do anything about the rats. They only deal with dogs and cats. Now, this gentleman is a contractor, okay? And he looked at the 3 years.
It's not a big job to do, but like I said, I have 3 kids. I have a 4-year-old daughter. I have a 7-year-old son. They can't go in the backyard because there's a fence down there. It's all falling apart. There's rats out there. There's cats going in and out of this place. It runs right across the store, right through the lady's basement next door. The lady that lived next door had $10,000 worth of damage done. Now, I looked into this. This has been going on since 1986. They've been trying to get this project done. My landlord owns the house. He's been there for 7 years. Every time he calls, they keep telling us, oh, it's because of this, because of what's going on with the Naples. It comes down from his landfill. It's been around for me for 5.5 years now.
And now we found out today it started, this same creek, this little bit of creek.
It's only 52 foot long.
Yeah.
Cover it in, and I'd have a backyard. It'd be gone. We'd have no problem with the rats and cats going in.
And the other day, my son went to move something out of the basement because my son's a football player for Scranton High School. I got him a weight set. He's a linebacker. He needs a weight set. He goes to move something and this rat comes lunging. Now, if this rat would have hit my child, I really would have been very angry. And with right, because this has been going on since 1986. Now, I know this is a new administration, and I know that the city doesn't change overnight. I am not an ignorant person. I am asking you for the safety of our children in this neighborhood to please bring the pipe down. This gentleman will lay it in, okay?
Send an inspector down, the city inspector.
And you can send the city inspector. We'll do the work. Personally, I would rather just get 2 big cement trucks and block it up, you know what I mean, and never have to deal with it again. But that isn't going to solve the problem. That's going to block the sewer line. It is, and you know what I mean? Let's get this done.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
may I ask you, was George Parker out to see your yard and to see
George
the problem?
Parker wasn't, his assistant Mike was.
His assistant,
And
okay.
he said to me, it definitely has to be done. It's a matter of Mr. Matthews is working with a short crew. Now, it just so happens I want to tell you a conversation I overheard. I wasn't being nosy. A DPW worker was on the corner of our house, and I happened to be standing there, and I heard him ask over the radio, this came from the top, the mayor wants a dumpster at City Hall ASAP. These guys ran with their tail between their legs to get a dumpster because the mayor wanted old desks from out of City Hall. I do believe you should clean City Hall. It's a beautiful building. Rats come first.
Yeah.
Believe me. Children come first.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Your problem, when did you bring it to the attention of George Parker and DPW?
Okay, well,
I've been calling down here for the last 3 years, my
Well,
landlord.
no, I'm,
Oh, okay, yeah.
just in regards to the present administration, the
Okay,
present director of
I
public
brought it
works.
to the attention,
You have 1 minute
started
left.
about 2 weeks ago. when
You have
we
1 minute
started-
left.
Yeah.
Well, we'll forward your comments down to the director of public works. And along with that, we'll also send them down to the public safety director
Okay.
and to the mayor. And we'll try to help you get your problem resolved.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
It was
welcome.
on this past Sunday, or it might have been the Sunday before, I received a call from a constituent whose home is on the 16 of Kapaus, which would, I guess, be
That's a block behind my house.
behind yours. And they had the same problem because we had to have DPW folks go over on a Sunday afternoon and put the horses around because their driveway and part of their backyard.
Yeah, that's their backyard's my backyard.
Okay.
So, I mean, like I said, this fence that's there is falling down. It's all, I mean, the kids could get jabbed on the metal and poked and everything. And we just
Before,
want to make a note to the city, you know, it's been a problem for a long time. It would be nice to get it taken care of.
before you leave this evening, could you leave your name and your phone number, contact number, so with Mrs. Kitlis, we'll get in touch with you on that issue?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What drainage ditch are you referring to?
On
Raymond?
Lord's Court and Phelps Street.
North Court and Phelps Street.
Yeah, the 300 block of Phelps Street and Lord's Court.
Did we get a response on that yet?
No, that was sent down. No response yet.
They went out and they looked at it, but they never fixed it. And it flooded.
Where's Phelps? Is that Pine Brook?
Okay, let's make sure that we get a letter down to George Parker and see that he addresses that issue.
Now, there's a senior citizen old lady who lives there, and her basement flooded it. I think it's ridiculous. That should have been fixed. Now, you had all that time, you could have fixed it. All that
I
time.
apologize on the DPW's behalf, but there's a lot of problems in the city of
you could have
Scranton.
fixed it.
And I'm
Could have
sure they
fixed it.
addressed them on a priority as needed basis. And I'm
Now,
sure they'll
I
address this in
have other things I want to discuss.
the same manner.
Now,
You're welcome, Sir Ray.
last week, I went to a Dunmore council meeting. And their wage tax is going up. I'm not going to say how much it is, but ours is what, 3.4? Theirs is going past 3.4. Now, I want you guys to vote to knock down our wage tax down from 3.4 to 1.2. If we do that, we could get business in this city. I mean, that should be done once and for all, not all this ridiculous talk.
There'd be no lights on the building right now if that were the case.
I don't think so. I think it could be done.
I understand your concern,
business
and
could come here.
It's a goal.
I mean, business could be here. I went to that meeting. They're raising the property tax. They're raising the school tax a tenfold compared to what we have. Now, what else I saw that's different from the city of Scranton Council? Now, I'm from the city of Scranton. They let me talk at theirs. If a person from Moscow couldn't come here and talk. But see, they don't have a 5-minute rule. Now, I'm wondering, why do we have to have a 5-minute rule? I talk for 25 minutes there. I could even talk longer. Where does it say in the state of Pennsylvania Constitution where there's a 5-minute rule? Or the founding of Scranton where there's a 5-minute rule? I looked in the library. There is no 5-minute rule. No history of a council law there is a 5-minute rule. You show me the law Come on, Mr. Murphy, where's the law?
That's the rule of this council.
Where's the
we
law?
allow everyone
There is
5
no
minutes.
law, so there should be no 5-minute rule. Hold that clock, Mr. Winter.
Whoa, excuse me, Mr. President.
Ray, you're getting a little off base here. You're not running the meeting, and you're not to dictate to Mr. Wintermail what his duties and responsibilities are.
I am a taxpayer. I have a right to say what I want to say.
No.
You could say what you'd like to say within certain
I
parameters.
want to say because I dictate it.
No.
I pay
No, you
your
don't.
salary.
You don't.
You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do.
Mr. President,
You're out of
I would
order,
ask
Ray.
that he be removed.
You're out of order, Ray.
Okay. I'm not
You're out-
tolerant.
please back on
Saying,
focus.
Kevin, I'm just saying, where does it say in the law there's a 5-minute rule? I just want to see it in black and white. Just show me in the black and white where there's a 5-minute rule. Where does it say with all your signatures?
It doesn't have to be in the law. It's the rules of council. The rules of council.
But you have to have it in paper.
Ray, could you give him the time to please explain?
The rules of council are lawfully adopted by this body. Then it becomes law. The rules of council say there's a 5-minute rule. That's in our rules. If you want to see a copy of the rules, I'm sure Gene Hickey will show it to you.
You have a copy, Mr. Wintermeadow?
You have 1 minute left.
Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Ray,
Give me a free copy?
Ray, please. You're to address this council and not Mr.
Kevin,
Wintermail,
can you give me a
please.
free copy of that?
We would be happy to make them available to
I
you.
want to see it.
Yeah, we'd be happy
I
to
want
do
to
that.
see this.
But please, you're a gentleman. You always come here and conduct
Yeah,
yourself in
but I
an
want
orderly
to see
fashion.
this because I went up to Dunmore and they told me that they shouldn't have it. Now they are angry about their council. I said, your council isn't as bad as our council.
Yeah, but all of this is irrelevant.
Our council
basically.
is worse. I mean, they insult us. They belittle us. They don't give us respect. I mean, there's supposed to be 7 council members instead of 5.
That's incorrect, Ray.
Well, the history of Scranton says there's supposed to be 7.
Your time is up, Mr. Lyman.
Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please.
Gentlemen, my name is Lillian Scott. Y'all know me. I was here last week about the rats on 1600 block of Penn Avenue. Well, this is my neighbor and her little girl. I want you to know that yesterday afternoon, I went to clean my yard, and on my back porch, there was a rat the size of a cat, dead, of course, because we put poison outside. Mr. Gahuli came and saw the mess we have in our yard. Mr. Parker was over Saturday. Mr. Parker's answer to this problem? Put a new fence up. I'm sure that the rats will say, let's not pass Mr. Parker's fence and go into the yard. This is not just my house. It is several houses on the block. We do not have mice. Your gentleman, okay, and I guess the head of, or not the head of, these supervisors of the DPW came to my house today. I had the rat put in a coffee can. The man opened it up and, not to disrespect this council, said, oh, the S word. My God. He could not believe the size of the rats. Then I had 3 other city workers come to my house. This city has the pipe and has the material to close our backyard up. Okay, we have it. It's there. Okay? We can get it done in 2 days, they said. We can fit a backhoe in our backyard. You have the pipe. You have the plastic pipe that will go into my yard and her yard where this baby could finally play in her backyard with her toys. And that pipe will last 1,000 years. It will be off your back. I will be off your back. Mr. Parker is trying to pacify me. You can tell him personally for me, I was off a pacifier at 18 months. I'm not about to shut up now. Not when it comes to rats, not when it comes to children, and not when it comes to my landlord paying as much tax as he's doing on this house for this city. Okay? I am not going to be quiet, and I'm not going to be nice. My next step, and I know you want to help me, because Mr. Gahuli was there. He saw that. He saw it. Okay? He saw the gross, the stench, the mosquitoes in the summer, the rats. I got one sitting on my front porch. Anyone in this room who feels free to come and see the amount of rats that we've collected from the outside of our house. Today when it rained and snowed, 2 of them came in my basement, ate the poison. 1 got in the trap. The other one died of the poison. Okay? In the last 4 days, we have gotten 5 rats. And we are not talking about mice, gentlemen. We are talking about rats. Okay? And then I called the Department of Safety, asked them, how do I dispose of these rats? Do you know what I heard? Throw them in your garbage. Really? Throw them in my garbage. Let's see, what kind of disease do rats hold? I throw them in the garbage and the bag breaks, and one of our wonderful garbage men who do a wonderful job in the city pick this up. What kind of disease is going to hit his hands? Do we have any kind of sympathy or any kind of safety for our workers in this city? I think that was the wrong answer. We do not. We need to get these rats removed and put in a place where they could probably be burnt. You know what I mean? We all know what kind of diseases rats hold. The gentleman did come from the city, Mr. Gahuli, by the way, and moved that plaque over, but we still have a hole this big. We're not going to do anything till we get the tubing in. We have the tubing. Let's work on it. Come on. Mr. Parker, I don't know. I know he's trying to save the city money. I know he is. I know the city's in great, financial thing. But what about our children? Do we all have to move out of Scranton to get you to understand this must be addressed? And it's not just my neighborhood. It goes up to Marywood also. It goes on the other side of Greenridge Street also. How much longer? Till this child gets bit by a rat? Look at her. Look at her face and tell me she can't play in her backyard. You tell me she does not have a right with the rents we're paying in this town, that she doesn't have a right to have a swing set.
One minute left, ma'am.
Thank you. She doesn't have the right to have a pool. We don't have a right to have a barbecue. You tell me at $575 a month, I don't have the right to use my backyard, and I'll gladly move out of Scranton. First and foremost, I did get a private attorney to help me with this matter. So you can bring that to Mr. Parker. Thank you so much. And Mr. Gahuli, thank you so much.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Mr. Warner Manor. My name is Tim Redfield. I live in North Scranton on North Main Avenue. I came here several times about the pavement on North Main Avenue where I live, ladies and men. We also have now a problem with the sign that says don't walk, do and walk signs. I guess that's under the Traffic Maintenance Control Department or whatever it may be. I noticed there are more police officers in the area, which is a blessing in the North Scranton area, but there's still some bad stuff. But yeah, I guess you gotta take the good with the bad. But also, I'm glad I see some of the Boy Scouts coming to this thing, which is good, and I believe they should come. As it said in the First Amendment, thou should speak out what he hears. And in a way, the kids are learning something new about their history, about Scranton, which is good. And they learn something. I've been in scouting for a few years myself, and I enjoyed it as well as the other kids. So just come to the meetings. That's all I can say. But if you can fix the sign up on Main and Greenridge, and also get the Main Avenue paved on the 1600 block up, going towards at least 2200, please. Thank you very much, men and ladies, and have a great night, sirs and ma'am.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
State your name, please.
Jim Stucker.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a problems again on Moosey Creek. A lot of places I've been walking, what they're doing, the city's taking their garbage, not putting it in the truck from the barrel. What they're doing, they're missing the truck and throwing it on the road. On Moosey Street, they do the same thing in the alley where I live. What they're doing, they're not putting wood and stuff in the garbage truck. We have a problem with the city. I call them and everything, and they won't do the job like they're supposed to. They won't pick up box mattress and throw it in the truck. Sometimes they leave the garbage back. I've seen a lot of people, seen a lot of them walk around a lot in Moosey Street, South Side. I walk all over, right? And I've seen a lot of garbage around on the sidewalks. And these garbage men ain't picking it up like they're supposed to. And I want to know why they're not doing it, and everybody's taxes paying for it, for that garbage to be picked up.
They're passing it by, Jim, the garbage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, what they're doing, they're not dumping in the garbage truck. What they're doing, they're throwing the barrels around, they're throwing the plastic garbage cans around. They're just throwing them anywhere, cars runs over them. I seen one the other day, about 2 weeks ago, I seen one out in the middle of the road. I've been walking around. I pick them up once in a while, throw them out on the grass for the people. all over, you know, Parrot Ave, not Parrot Ave, all the way around Music. Is there a reason for it?
I've noticed that too, Jim, and if you don't mind, I'll make a mention this week to Mr. Parker down there, see if he can get the word out to the people picking it up.
Mr. Murphy, can you see about getting that traffic light yet? Can you still see about that, will you please? Somebody's gonna get killed over there yet. We don't care about next year or now, we need it. We need a sign, we need a stop sign or a traffic light on Woozy Street, right by the Chinese food. We need one there bad. We don't care if it's a traffic sign, or I don't care if it's a sign or not, stop sign or a traffic light, something there.
Jim, all we can do is...
PennDOT owns it. PennDOT runs the road. Why can't just leave it to PennDOT and call them up and say, we need a stop sign here. Somebody's gonna get killed on that road yet.
That's exactly what we do. We send a letter to PennDOT, and PennDOT sends out an engineer, and it usually doesn't take them very long before they get a response back to us as to why or why not they're going to replace a particular light.
There's one down by Needles Bar there by the bridge. There's a light. Why can't we put one by the gas station there on the corner? There's a cross street there. There's a street there. It's a crossway.
We have to go by what the city engineers recommend to us. And if the city engineers recommended that, then we'd consider it. Based on your recommendation, we can't take that light from one place and put it in another place.
Another thing too, Mr. Murphy, I volunteer for Nog Park. You know that? You know I volunteer, right? I have no way to get there. I have no way to get up there, and I'm not walking all the way from there, from Moosey all the way up to Nog Park to clean up. I have no way to get there. You find somebody to take me up there, I'll be happy. I'll go up and do it. Rake and weed whack and everything. Find somebody to pick me up there, I'll be happy. I wouldn't mind doing a volunteer.
I can't supply transportation for you, Mr. Stuckert. I appreciate you wanting to chip in and help out the community and cleaning up Naog Park, but I can't provide transportation for you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Did everyone here waste their time speaking tonight? Can anyone answer that? Is anything that what was said tonight from the people, are you going to take that into consideration? Well,
yes, we'll take that into consideration. That's what the public hearing is for.
Okay.
Jim Stucker?
Dr. Gene Hickey.
I'm from, this is Jim Stucker, Mr. Reed, Murphy, Gihuli. Okay, I was up the county, and we had 2 cops harass me. I didn't say a word, they just kept on walking. And I went to mop the streets, all the cops, all the bicycle cops. I don't care what anybody says. Every time I make a turn, they alongside of me. I'm getting sick of it. Why? I'm 57 years old. Why does cops have to harass me? They come to my house, they come to everybody's door, knock on door and look for trouble.
Mr. Stuckert, if you had a problem with the police officer, if you were arrested for some reason, this isn't a place to discuss that. If you have a problem or if you want to bring an issue up down at the courts as pertains to a police officer or several police officers, this isn't the place for that.
Well, hey, I got my right to speak.
Not on that issue.
Oh. What reason? Why? Is there a reason why?
This isn't a court of law.
There's no reason for them to bother me. I don't bother them. That's why I want an answer. Okay. Why?
Well, we understand that. I understand what you said, but we're not going to discuss the professionalism of the police department as it results to your personal arrest.
They cut my wrist with the handcuffs?
You're out of order, Mr. Stuckert. Please step down. Next speaker, please.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, viewers, and everybody else. We have a very large crowd, and I'm pleased to see this many people. My name is Tim Redfield of North Scranton, sir.
Thank you.
What brings me up is, one, I haven't seen a crowd this much in a long time, and I think that's fantastic. If we had like this more often at this place, which is great news. 2, Post and Taxi came up to people several months ago about bringing cab service into Scranton. Okay. That was a few months ago, and we only have 5 cabs from Poston Taxi Cab. And their base headquarters is out of Wilkesboro, which is out of 40 drivers. Yeah, look, they do add up. So if you call a cab, guess what? You're going to wait an hour and 20 minutes more. Stick with McCarthy. They're nice too, but they have a large quantity of cabs, and they can be there a lot quicker when you need one. Number 3, there was a graduation last Friday of my brother's daughter that graduated. She deserved an honor roll and other quite big awards, and said she got into the paper, and I thought that was great, and she deserved every minute, every word of those and honors. So the only thing I wanted to speak to you about is trying to get those signs, which I spoke to number of times in North Scranton about the don't walk, do walk sign that were supposed to be replaced and never did. Don't ask why. I guess the traffic and maintenance guy only works from 6 in the morning till 12 noon and then says bye. But I mean, after 12 o'clock noon, it's like you're trying to get a hold of them, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can't even get a hold of them for something. Well, not even a question, because it's not there. And if you're at work yourself like I am, it's going to be very hard.
Do you have anything else?
No, sir. Thank you very much. But can you answer that question now about the traffic thing, sir?
All right, Tim.
Can you answer the question?
We'll check on the traffic thing, for the traffic light. Next speaker.
Name is Jim Stucker. I live on Woozy Street. Okay, we have a little problem with our garbage again. They pick up. Sometimes they just leave it there. Don't pick up like they're supposed to. And they just throw the rugs up the side, on the side. They're already cut up and they don't take them. I'd like to know why. And my landlord's garbage is, our landlord has been paying for it. The guy called him about it. He said he'll see about it. We got back to me. They did. This morning. I talked to some guy with a red car. He came over 2 weeks ago. He seen me there. I was selling stuff in front of my house. Came up, he says, "What's the problem?" I said, "We have a problem with the garbage. You won't take a chair or a couch." They say they would take a hall. They would take the hall couch or a chair. They just throw it up the side. Now I broke it up. Hope they do take it. How would the garbage man, they throw our garbage cans around? How would the garbage man like to pay for the garbage cans for his Scranton plastics? How would the garbage man like to pay for our garbage cans? How would the city like to do that, Mr. Reed? How would the city garbage man like to pay for our garbage cans when they throw them around? Everybody in Scranton. Why? How would they like it, Mr. Reed? Would you like it?
Jimmy, why don't you leave your address with Jane, and we'll see if we can get somebody to come by tomorrow and take a look at the type of garbage you want properly disposed of. Couch, maybe we could accommodate that.
I broke the couch up.
We'll see if we can send somebody over and meet your needs.
Okay, another thing too. Now I just called up again about Parrott Avenue. They fixed the holes up there. I don't know how long they're gonna be. I don't live there. My buddy Pat Seco, I don't know his last name, Pat. His name is, he lives on Parrott Avenue. And I told him the other day, he said, "We go fix the holes." They went up there to fix them with their today, and they're fixed. The tar is pushed down. So can you, maybe one of you, can you see about getting maybe somebody up there again?
Sure, Jim. We can look into that.
Is there's
Leave the address, please, of that.
Parrott Avenue, that's all I know. It's right across from Salone Ball Field.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? Okay, I'll give that lady a call, that guy a call, Mr. Reed.
Okay, Jim.
Okay, bye.
Raymond Lyman.
I didn't quite hear you, Ray. Could you state your name again, please?
Raymond Lyman.
So Jane hears you. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Number one, why do we have the sign-in sheet again? We didn't have it at the beginning when you took office as president. Brian, can you answer that question?
Well, I'm the one that reinstituted it, so if Brian would like to speculate.
Well,
I just thought it worked well during some of the
I
longer
liked it when we
meetings we
didn't
had.
have it.
Well,
I want
well,
it back the way it was.
I appreciate your comment, Ray, but
I want it
for the
back
time
the way
being,
it
I'm going
was.
to go with it. I'm going to go with it, buddy.
I want to go back the way it was.
I don't.
Well, I want it the way it was.
Okay.
So I want it the way it was.
I understand.
But we'll do it the way it was.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
Ray, okay.
I'm a taxpayer. We'll do it
Do
the
you
way.
have, do you have anything else, Ray?
Okay, and we got a couple other stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
2 weeks ago, I didn't like it what you did. I mean, Mr. Reed, Mr. Gahulio, I liked it what you two did. Voted against it, against the recovery plan. That was good. That recovery plan was ridiculous. That was the most ridiculous plan ever advised. That mayor, he don't know what the hell is he doing. They could have did something else. They could have went back with the state, with the union, and started again. The unions should file every lawsuit and stiff it. And teach you guys a lesson. I mean, look at the Terriani fire that just happened Saturday. What if 5 or 6 firemen got killed? And now this recovery plan went. What if that was Redner's and there were people in that Redner's? What if those people were there and they were trapped? And those families were shopping and they were trapped and they got killed. You're responsible. You are.
I don't agree with you.
You are responsible because you passed that recovery plan. Because you fired firemen and then you were going to hire stinking...
We did not fire firemen.
You are going to hire like those Greenwood firemen, part-timers that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Ray, you're out of order. You're out of order. I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Because I know Greenwood firemen.
Out of order, Ray.
I know them.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to collect yourself, or I'm going to ask you to step down.
Okay, Kevin.
Please, be a gentleman.
Kevin, I know Greenwood firemen. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Please step down. You're out of order. Step down, Ray.
Kevin.
Next speaker.
Kevin,
please.
just listen to me.
Ray.
Just one second.
You're out of order. Please step down. Next speaker, please.
If you would go to him in force, I think he would listen to you. He's not going to listen to us, apparently, because he hasn't appointed anyone yet.
The mayor did appoint an African-American, Reverend McLean, to the Civil Service Commission, probably one of the most important bodies in the city.
What about the zoning commission? What about the housing authority? What about the parking authority? Please, okay? Let's not insult my intelligence or anybody else here.
No, ma'am. It's not, ma'am.
Yes,
Mr.
go ahead.
President. I wasn't attempting to insult your
Yes, you were.
intelligence. Well, if that's how you feel, I regret
Well, no,
that.
that's just the way it is.
No, that's how you feel.
No, that's the way it is.
Okay,
But we
for
won't
you it
argue
is.
about it.
For you, if that's how it is, then that's how it is.
Well, usually when
Mr. Hazuri.
Mr. President, I am going to make a comment.
Go ahead.
A comment was made that the mayor has not appointed any African Americans to any boards, commissions, or committees, and I just wanted to set the record straight that the mayor did to the Civil Service Commission.
Mrs. Simmons, would you like to continue?
Raymond Lyman. Last week, I went down to the Rosenbrino pool and I tried to purchase one of those $50 swim passes, and I was denied. And Barbara Marinucci's friend told me because she told the two guys that I was denied because I had a big mouth. She told those two guys, that's why. Don't let him get it. And she said, and then she chased him out. That's what she told those guys, chase me out. And I have it on videotape. My friend videotaped it.
Ray, are people able to buy season swim passes at the pools?
Yes.
They are?
Yes.
Oh, I thought the public had to report to Weston Field and
they were buying it down there.
Picture taken and.
Then I went down.
You sure they weren't just paying $1 to swim down there?
Well, I was down there and I had the money and people were paying it.
The season fee.
The $50 passes.
Hold on one second, Ray. Mr. Saunders, do you have a comment?
I got other stuff. Wait a minute, Jared. Wait, I got more.
Wait a minute, I want Mr. Saunders.
I got more to this. Now listen.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to come back to you.
Mr. DeVillio, I spoke to Bob Scopoletti about the situation. He said that Weston Field is where they're supposed to go for the season pass. I had received a call from Mr. Lyman about this, so I in turn called Mr. Scopoletti about it. He said he would not deny Mr. Lyman of the pass. So I told Ray to go down there. Ray went down there, and I guess something else happened.
Yes.
With it. And now this is maybe at Weston Field? Did you go to Weston Field?
No, I went back to Rosenbrino. The second time I went down there, they told me if I go back down there, I'll be arrested. And then they threatened me that.
Well,
Ray, you got to go to Weston Field, buddy. You got to go down to Weston Field. That's where they're selling them at. They're not selling them at the Novembrino pool.
They are selling it there.
No, Ray, are you sure?
Now listen to this. Then that same Thursday where I was denied the first time, I went down to the neighborhood center. I called them up first and they said I was eligible to the United Neighborhood Center for that. And then they told me I was eligible. And then I stood in line for an hour and a half. By the time I got in there, I was denied.
Maybe we can ask, is there somehow we can ask Mr. Scopoletti to get with Mr. Lyman? Is that possible? Maybe we can help him out?
And then I called I called the mayor's office, and that same day, the mayor called me back, and he said that I was supposed to get a pass.
The mayor called you?
Well, someone called me back saying he was the mayor. And on my caller ID, it was of the city hall.
All right.
I'll give you the phone number, the same of the city hall's number. It's on my caller ID's number.
Ray, we'll make sure that you get a season pass for the swimming.
How about we look into
care of that for you?
Right?
Jay, make sure that Raymond gets a season pass for the pools. Okay? We'll take care of it for you.
But Gary, do you mean a season pass or a free pass?
Well, I think the free passes are for underprivileged children.
If he qualifies,
children,
right?
Senior citizens aren't eligible.
I don't know about that.
We'll check with United Neighborhood Centers and see what Ray is eligible for. If he's eligible for a free pass, that's what we want him to have.
Right. If Ray, if you call me tomorrow in the office, I will have talked to Mr. Scopoletti by then and set this all up for you, as we did.
Because I don't want to go back there and be humiliated again.
Yeah, don't go back over there. We'll take care of it for you, Ray.
That or Western Field. I'm not going to go back over there and be humiliated. I'm not going to have them cursing at me and being hollered again.
No one's going to curse at you, Ray.
Yes, they did.
All right, well, it's not going to happen again because we're going to deal right through City Council's office, and Mr. Saunders will handle that for
The
you.
lawyer said he had the videotape and he will take it to the ACLU.
Okay. Hopefully we won't have to go that route. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it.
I just have a few questions. Gary, I see that we have a Cosmo Drive, street, and we have a Munchak Street. drive, at the high school. Now, I'm asking if we have one for Spindler. He's a football player, and he was better than Munchak. And he played better than Munchak. And he was from Scranton. And he should be recognized.
He's very deserving, Ray, and possibly someday you will see him honored
But
over
I'm
at West
asking
Scranton.
him. I'm asking the council, and he should be given. He's been retired for years and years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And Munchak has just retired just recently, and they just gave it to him. And I don't think that's right.
I think maybe one big reason why Mr. Munchak was honored is because he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Ray. And
I know, but
very well
Spindler,
deserved.
he played football too. And he was from this area too, and he should be given a street.
Okay.
You could rename Lackawanna Avenue, Spindler's Avenue. You could dedicate it and say Raymond Lyman named it after him.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens over at West Scranton High School someday, Ray.
Well, you should.
Absolutely.
I mean, that should be named after the guy. I mean, my God, he played football. It's an honor, and it should be named after this guy. You're robbing the guy. You gave it to Cosmo and you gave it to Munchak.
Yeah.
My God, if I was playing football, how would you feel? If I was in a professional football player and I was robbed like that, and I was in the NFL, and I was let's say if I was in the Eagles, won the Super Bowl and that.
If you were on the Eagles, we would definitely name a street after you, Ray.
Yeah, and I won the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be here in Scranton. That's one
I'd do
thing.
that tomorrow.
Now, I have another thing. Now, I don't want you hollering or stomping on your thing or nothing, but a few years ago, the former city council took our right to, they wouldn't let us speak. And Bolus went to court to Judge Menorah, and the Sunshine Act, and we got it back. And now Dixon City's doing the same thing down there, not Dixon City, Duryea. And now like I said, now they have to do the same thing. Now I said, now they're feeling what we're feeling, what the former city council were doing. Now I said to them, now you know how stooges are, the former city council was. These people's right to vote. They had a police officer, they eliminated, and they hired 5 garbage workers, and they deputized them. Yeah. That's like if Mayor Doherty eliminated 5 police officers in Scranton and hired 5 DPW workers and hired them as cops. And let's say if 3 council member okay this and 2 went against it.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate that.
That would be.
Thank you.
How you doing? My name's Gene Sweater, Scranton resident, 1549 Gardner Avenue. How's everybody tonight?
Good, Gene. How are you?
Good. I enjoyed coming down Mulberry Street. Our maintenance guys did a wonderful job putting the Christmas lights up. But why are they turned on since 2 weeks before Halloween?
What are we talking about?
The Christmas lights are all on. 2 weeks before Halloween. I heard a rush in the season, but wait a minute. Go down Mulberry Street, all the lights are on. They've been on for the last 3 weeks. All these little green red poinsettias, they're lit up down there.
When do they normally go up? Does anyone know?
Well, they usually go up during the warmer weather. The maintenance guys, you know, they jump on it, but not turn them on.
Okay.
I mean, the tower ain't even lit at the Times building, but Scranton got Christmas lights. Who's
I
paying
don't
for
think
it?
I've ever seen it in October.
Yeah, I'm not.
October the 9th, the lights were turned on.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
Shut up.
Ooh, easy, Gene.
But really, the lights has been on since October the 9th. Isn't that rushing the season? And who's paying the bill? Mr. Cartwright, DeBellio, Janet, McTiernan, Poaches, me, who?
All of us.
Yeah. Why? Give me an answer.
I don't know.
First time I'm down here.
We don't know.
We can ask.
They were on when I left council last week. I'm not disputing you. I just don't know why they were on.
They're on.
I believe you. I saw them. I don't know why.
Well, I wouldn't lie to you.
No, I know you would.
Oh.
Gene,
Raymond, what?
you have to address council. Okay?
All right. That's all.
Thank you, Gene.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Gene.
that.
Just find out.
Phyllis, I know I have to remind you.
Excuse me, I know what you're going to say. And
Let me say it first. Let me say it first.
Excuse me, Mr.
Let me say it
DeVille.
first. Wait a minute. Wait a
Say
minute.
it
Wait a minute.
first, but make sure they don't cut the thing off like
All
they've
right.
been doing on me. Because people are watching, and they said that they've been cutting off
Okay.
my voice.
Let's make
which
sure
is
that
fine.
there's no prayers, please. We appreciate you being here and try to stick to city business. Thank you, Phyllis.
May the peace of the Lord Jesus Christ, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit be with you. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, frieden, pace, ta'al in this area.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's a sign that fell over by Mulberry Towers that got to be repaired. And I just went today to the MRI center. And I'm sitting on this big rock. They need to put a little bench there for the disabled people because I want you to know I am challenged. I'm a challenged person. But I'm not as mentally challenged as people think.
Excuse me, Phyllis.
Over the weeks since I've been here.
Phyllis, I have to address the audience, please. Please, if everyone would keep their voices down while there's a speaker at the podium. Thank you very much. Go right ahead.
Over the weeks I've been here, I look very much into the person's heart and most of all their actions. And the first week I was here, I was very frustrated and hurt because someone harassed me and a lot of things happened that was sequestered in this area. And I gave you documents to be exposed to the city of Scranton, which might be personal to you, but or you might think personal to me. But this has to do with from the town of Einan to the city of Scranton to New York City to the United Nations. I want this to be a better town. And I love my country. When I spoke to you, you had told me, Mrs. Evans was very kind. They says, we will talk to you after everything was over. Mrs. Evans was kind. She gave me a few minutes, but her husband accosted me and says to me, you know what you need. And I said, well, I don't think I need any lawyers because I think 97% are going to hell and the other percentage became priests. He says, you need an exorcism. I want to tell you, I exercise. That's one of the gifts God's given me.
Phyllis.
So the second week went by.
Phyllis, try to stay to city business now.
It is city
and
business.
please keep
It's
your
about
voices down.
It's about city council. It's about city council. The second week I came again, it was, we will meet afterwards, which the first week everybody scattered. I respect Mr. Pocious, God bless him. He's a holy man. He went to celebrate with his wife. I love him, right? I don't, Mr. DeBellio, the honest to God's truth is I really don't know that much about you. Other than I had insurance and then I dropped it and I was still getting bills. If I owe you money, the check will be in the mail.
All right.
The other thing that I want to say is, so everything was like being taken. Some people told me that when I got up to the podium, the microphones were being shut off. Well, you know, you cannot hide anything. The Scranton Times, on numerous occasions, I had called them to come to my home to bring a message to everyone. And they never came. Numerous people attacked me. I had a lot of crime put against me. The test was sometimes unbearable, but I pray for everybody. Because at this point, we got to pray for everybody. I went through the Catholic religion to the Muslim religion to come back to my faith. I represent all faiths. So to tell me, Mr. DeBellio, not to pray, I don't know how to tell you. I pray underneath my breath every moment, every second, every hour, for our city, for our town, for our country. Because my mother inbred me to love God above all things and love our neighbor as ourselves. And if we don't have that put together as people in the United States of America and councilmen, or if you're going to be a mayor or whatever you're going to be, if you don't set yourself on those commandments that you're going to put your hand on that book, then you got to really think about the person. If they come and they tell you, I'll see you afterwards, but never see you. I told you I have a child that we don't know where it is. Well, 3 weeks ago, this is imperative.
I'm going to have to ask if you could stay after the meeting again. I'd be happy to.
No, I'm not staying after meeting. My time is too valuable. I'm going to be meeting with people at the United Nations. I'm going to be meeting with the Russian Orthodox Church. My time is as valuable as yours. I might be poor, but I've been rich in the graces of God.
Let's get together. Let's get together after the meeting or tomorrow,
If
Phyllis.
you say after the meeting and you don't show up, and what I've told you, it would have been so nice if somebody showed up at my door in concern. The person that I want to lead my country, my town, and my city, I want him to give me the time, not to cut me short. And if he says he's going to meet me after the meeting, he will meet me after the meeting.
Phyllis,
I got this. I
will meet you after the meeting.
So I got this. I'm not going to say who I'm voting for, but I'll tell you one thing. Somebody's getting fired. God bless you.
Thank you.
Now, I got this letter today in the mail. Now, this came from Senator Mello, Konjarsky, Mike Washoe. It came from Paul Konjarsky and Terry Nariani, and also from all these other Democrats, and also from Bill Scranton, a Republican, all supporting Chris Doherty. And I actually wrote to Senator Mello, because I was at Gianetti when Senator Mello said, and I'll quote this, that he'll do his best to shut these meetings down of City Council.
No, Ray, we spoke,
I know
we
Mr.
spoke to
Poach
his
got a
office,
letter.
and he said he was not interested.
He lied
in it.
to you.
But no, you can't say that.
He lied to you. I was there with senior citizens, and he said that he'll shut this down.
You can't say that.
Ray.
Oh, he said it.
But you can't
Ray,
say
you got to go to another topic.
Now I'll go to another topic. I wrote a letter to him. I don't know when he's going to write back to me, but I wrote a letter to him. Why 61 is only running this Sunday. 61 gave me some kind of bullshit excuse.
Oh, okay. All right. You got to sit down, Ray. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry for using that word.
Come back next week and maybe we'll let you
But they
start
gave
over
me an
again.
excuse